Okay. Well, they said they wanted David Letterman, so here we go. Cambridge's top 10 flops as far as colors go. One of their biggest flops was Milk Glass, which came out in 54 and ended in 54. We understand that it came back to Cambridge by the train car load. They were attempting to compete with Westmoreland paneled grape milk glass and Fenton's milk glass hobnail, which were very popular. Ethan Allen furniture and milk glass. And so Cambridge jumped on the bandwagon and pulled different things out of Caprice and Cascade and Mount Vernon and the Swans, and it flopped big time. So that's the number 10 flop from Cambridge Glass. Number doesn't mean, just because it's a flop doesn't mean we don't like it. Here's a flop that we really like. Two very unusual pieces, basket weave pitcher with a reeded handle instead of the plain handle, and a Jefferson iced tea. It's the only one I've ever heard of. Rubina was a gigantic flop for Cambridge. It also came back by the train carload. They couldn't hold the color. As you well know, the Doric candlesticks and the twist candlesticks are brown. The vases are all blue. And the department stores didn't like it. They tried to do a display of it, and it was, they wanted consistency, and Cambridge was making art glass. And so that's our number 9 flop from Cambridge. Our number 8 flop, Windsor Blue, which came out someplace around 36, 37. The story goes it was named after the Duke of Windsor, who abdicated the throne. Windsor Blue was made primarily for the seashell line and lasted maybe a year. I think it's one of the prettiest flops Cambridge ever made. Number 7 flop, Carrera. And it was the wrong time period for a milk glass style glass. It just was the wrong time frame. It tends to be only plainware lines and community lines is what you normally see in Carrera. There is one piece of inverted feather known in Carrera. Our number 6 flop, boy was it a flop, just about killed Cambridge. Mardi Gras. They had a terrible time controlling this stuff. It exploded, it cracked, all kinds of things happened. It was expensive. This was $10 retail. Now this sounds, crazy that $10 is a lot of money. You have to you have to remember that Hummels were $1 and $2. A large Dalton figurine was $6. A large cranberry Fenton Cruet was $4. So a $10 gift shop item was a pricey piece of glass. It doesn't sound like anything today. This is an interesting sample size that came from a worker. It's practically all red. Mardi Gras varies a lot. Typical colors are amethyst, opal, and carmine-colored frit. But there are a few pieces with cobalt known, and there are a few pieces that are all one color. All amethyst frit, all blue frit, all red frit. Frit is crushed up glass. And they put it on a marver, and you roll the crystal right over the frit, and it picks color up. Number 5 flop, ebon, which is not really a color, it's a treatment. It's ebony glass, generally in the pristine, or most of it in the Cambridge Square lines. These are the 2 stock decorations they did, birds and stars. They also did fish. This is quite a rare shape. This one has the original ebon label on it. It's actually not acid finished. It's sandblasted. It's sandblasted. That was same year as the milk glass, 54. Our number 4 flop is probably one of the prettiest things Cambridge did. Violet. We're still not sure exactly when. It does not show up anyplace. It was like milk glass. They picked a few pieces from different lines, a couple Mount Vernon, a couple Everglades, a couple Jenny Lind, a couple Seashell. Why in the world they would have done a purple opaque that was popular in the 20s, in the late 50s, is beyond me. But it was a terrible flop for them, but I think probably one of the most beautiful things they did. A lot of people ask, how do you tell Helio from Violet? Violet is patterned. Helio is plain wear, round wear. Number 3. One of the prettiest colors and one of the very hardest to find. What we used to call blue 2, blue 3, cobalt blue 3. This is actually called Aurora, and it is generally in the Mount Vernon or Decagon line. This is a super, super rare reverse etched temple jar. What a great piece. It was made, Aurora was made between 29 and 31, but there obviously was not much of it made. It did not sell well. One of their most gigantic flops, Goldenrod, which was obviously made to compete with Heisey's Marigold. These are in the Martha Washington pattern. Goldenrod was made in 1927 and lasted a matter of months. Now the thing that you have to remember about Goldenrod is there are a lot of things that are flashed marigold. They're stained and fired on. And so you have to be able to look at them and tell the difference between... real marigold tends to whiten, tends to opalesce on the edges, and the flashed marigold has more of a brown tone to it. It's actually one of the hardest colors to come up with. And, drum roll, our biggest number 1 gigantic flop for Cambridge, charcoal. This is the only known occasional piece of charcoal. It came from the last vice president of the plant in the Jenny Lind pattern. What was production was shown in either a 57 or 58 price list, 1066 goblets and sherbets, and Caprice goblets and sherbets, and then wines and cocktails in 1066. And in the price guide, it's listed as charcoal with a gold stem. And if you compare this to a regular piece of Cambridge stemware, you'll see there's a yellow tint to the stem. It almost looks like bad. First time I bought a piece, I thought it was bad glass. And those are our 10 Cambridge flops.
Any questions for Lynn?
Yep.
In your opinion, did they overprice the
Mardi Gras?
Mardi Gras because it was more labor intensive, or was it
they
because they
had-
were at the end of the era?
I think they were losing so much of it that they were trying to make, it was like Cambridge Square. There was about 25% acceptance on Cambridge Square. They were losing so much of it to bubbles and streaks and cracks. And I know that Mardi Gras was the same thing. They were having so much trouble getting a good piece that they had to work the costivity into it. And then it was too expensive to sell. Plus, it was not what people expected from Cambridge. You expect this from Denmark. You know, you don't expect this from Cambridge, and the buyers just didn't go for it. But yeah, they had to work that costivity in. Sure. That's what caused
Question.
it. Uh-huh.
The blue 2 pieces that you have there,
Uh-huh.
which I've always heard of as called blue 2. I
Yeah.
missed the memo on Aurora. So how and when was that name discovered?
There is an invoice on this showing multiples of decagon pieces, cups and saucers and plates, and Mount Vernon goblets and sherbets from, I think, Mark, do you have the copy of it, or we have it in the archives?
No, we don't.
Les has it, yeah. Les Hansen has it. And, you know, some people used to call that Ritz Blue, too. I mean, I've heard so many color names for it. But from this invoice, it's obviously Aurora.
I think
Not Aurora, Aurora, with an O on the end.
I think there's a little misinterpretation. You got the time frame right, late 29, 30.
Yeah.
We found a directory or a
Mhm.
little calendar that Cambridge issued, and they had Ritz Blue
Mhm.
listed as their color. So that's what we have it listed on the website as, and that would be number 3. Aurora, I think, that appeared in the invoice was in the mid-20s,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the Blue 1.
Blue 1, okay.
That's the way we have it at
See, the invoice we have shows Mount Vernon items in Aurora.
that must be another one then, because the one I had was from
And
the
this
mid-20s.
is the only blue that I know of that comes in Mount Vernon, other than Royal Blue.
And this is a point that Lynn and I don't agree on. So
Sure.
Take it,
Sure.
it as it could be. The one you call goldenrod.
Mm-hmm.
There was a circular letter issued by, I believe it was under Mr. McCartney's signature, where they were introducing a new color in 1929 to the salesman, and all of it was listed as goldenrod,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in 29. And the new color that came out in 29 later became known as gold crystal.
Mm-hmm.
In 1927, as you indicated for those pieces, the trade journals had several references to golden showers.
Golden showers. Mhm.
So that's what we have it on the Miami Valley website. That's
Yeah.
what we feel is the correct name. But be aware that it can be called either name.
Right, right.
So that you know what we're talking about.
Sure, sure. Anybody else? Yeah.
Were you going to talk about stretch glass? I have no idea what that is.
Stretch glass.
I have no idea how they make it or even what the hell it is.
It's an iridescent finish that is fired onto the glass, and the way they fire it, the iridescent stretches and tears and leaves all these little stretchy lines in it. It's an iridescence not a lot unlike carnival glass. It's a fired on metallic salts.
Well, I didn't see in the showcase that had those lines you're talking about. They just all
Well,
look
not
like-
all of it does. Not all of it stretches. Not all of it stretches. Some of it stretches, some of it doesn't. Some of it doesn't.
Jim, thank you for your question. Tomorrow at 11:30, we're going to be talking about stretch glass.
There you go.
So that's okay.
Got some
That's okay.
got some experts on it
We
to
got,
talk
yeah,
about
got a few
it.
experts, so, but good question.
Yep.
Anything else for Lynn?
Thanks.
Round of
Thanks.
applause, Lynn
Good
Welker.
night.
Thank you so much.